Yeah, we can start.
Okay. Hello, guys. Good morning and a beautiful welcome to everyone who is here and all those watching us on YouTube and all those watching us later in the now. So, a big warm welcome. We have a very special episode today. It has two parts. First one, I'm going to be welcoming Ajay. We'll have him talk to us and then you can ask him questions. He has a beautiful journey of flying to share. And number two, of course, we will talk about the season opening plans, what all courses we are offering. You may have personal questions about what you want to take up, or you have some suggestions. We'll be then opening the session for that. And number three, I've also invited Prateek today. I hope he can join, who is the ASC 360 paragliding insurance guy. Okay, so you can get to talk to him as well. So let's begin. I hope everyone is doing well. And like I shared in the last session as well, you all are very special people. You are pilots and you have the pilot's perspective, which is very special. When you fly, you are above, all that troubles us on ground, the worldly affairs. You get to go up, you get to be above it all and be free from it all. And that's your power. You may undergo whatever, situations, circumstances, but you always get a chance to go above and forget it all and fly above it all. So keep that perspective. These are challenging times, but at the same time, also beautiful times, an opportunity to grow and evolve at a much faster rate than ever before on this planet. So with that, on that note, I want to introduce a very special person today. He's very close to my heart. I call him Ajju, and he is India's top-ranking competition pilot. I remember him as a teenager, going to college, and I was tempting him to, leave all that and join paragliding. But he was having, a great time, having, a few girlfriends. We used to have him meet, and he was having a great time. He said, "Why do you want to spoil my show, man? I'm having a good time. Why do you want me to go into paragliding?" But soon, the bug bit him. And like I shared, his achievements speak for themselves. He's had an amazing journey. He's been flying in the Kulu Valley. He's been flying in Bees, doing competitions. He's done India proud in the World Cup, where, first time ever an Indian, won a task, which was huge, for our country with all the disadvantages. And, it's a first world sport, but I mean, that's a huge achievement for me. Then he, quite early in his career, he went to Nepal and did most of his flying in the Himalayas there. And I met him there as well. I visited Nepal quite a few times. And he did amazing racing there as well. And like I said before, his achievements, his trophies, his cups speak for themselves. I would like to hand you over to Ajay, who will tell us a little bit about his, paragliding journey. And then, we will ask him, interesting questions. I had recently done, like I mentioned, the SIV project with him, where I got to know him from close quarters, and I will share that as well. So, okay, Ajay, super welcome. He's sitting in the Himalayas. I'm in Goa, and we have people from everywhere. Let's begin. Ajay, over to you. Please share your, flying journey and story with us.
Thank you, Abisa. It was nice hearing you. And first of all, hello, everyone. I don't know all of you, but you might know a little bit of me. So, like Avi said, my journey started when I was a teenager. living in a village, not having not much idea, but life was still beautiful. I was loving the way I was. So suddenly Ravi came and he changed my life. And it's very hard decision when you are studying and you have different head. You're thinking, I will do MBA, blah 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 blah, and then I don't know, like normally I had this in my head. So when he came in, so he changed, he just showed me all these aviations, and I was like, yeah, nice, why not? So my good thing about me was I either don't do things, or when I do it from my heart completely. So I totally dedicated to what I do, and I carried on, and I picked up quite quickly. So so they were like appreciating, like, wow, Ajay, you're learning very well. So I was picking up good, and he took a challenge also flying with me in the first. He was my first passenger in 10 ever. So I remember those days. And even in a very rough conditions, so it's like, yeah, let's go. He was my guide. It was kind of giving me instructions, instructional tandem flight. So I did, and we survived, didn't kill him, and and we carried on. Anyway, later on, after I think maybe 5 6 years later, so I decided to go to Nepal. It was 2002 or 2001, I don't remember exactly. So I went there. Did the first season. I didn't think like I would stay for that long, but then the lifestyle and the flying area, because you could fly every day in Nepal. So that kept me there. No? So finally, I spent my 18 years in Nepal, and I had this in my head already before the COVID came, that I will go back to India, and I have to live in India now, because 18 years is quite a long time. Even Nepal, it was beautiful. I was having a great time there. It was like my family. But then anyway, it was in my head like, okay, one day I have to go back to India. So it was like 2 years ago I decided that. And then I moved to India, and it's great again here. So, but I mean, COVID is a different situations. But otherwise, we are lucky that we have the Himalayas here also, and we have the greatest mountain ranges. Beauty is, I think, it's really like God gift to us, and it's so close to me. And I see my future here now, and now the plan is like, okay, why not? I was serving myself in Nepal, but now I want to serve myself in India. Obviously, with the Temple pilots, uh, wherever we go, we will organize trips and stuff, and we will be working as a team. And now that's why we are here. And we did this SIV course it was like January, February time, yeah, February time. And it was a very, interesting story, because what we had planned before, everything changed because of the bird flu. So we have to really leave everything and replan again and elsewhere, not in the same place also, because we had to leave Himachal and go elsewhere. And then we went to the close by place called Ranjit Sagar, wonderful place, beautiful. Even though we had to live in the tents for 45 days, but we never regret this. We had a great time, and I know in future it will not happen again, because 45 days and plus 300 plus students, and everyone safe, not even a single scratch, and it's a great experience. And we have to keep up that energy for such a long time, and we never had any arguments with our team. It was just fantastic. Everything was working good. So now I am here, and we have a project working with Temple pilots, and we will run some paragliding courses. And my job will be teaching like XCs and thermaling and extreme flying or cross countries, competition flying. So if you have any questions to ask, you can ask me. This is what I can tell you in shortly. So I don't want to waste too much time, but it's all up to you now. You have in your head anything you want to ask me, you please ask. So here we go now.
Okay, so thank you, Ajay. Very humbly, put. I must also share with everyone that he's an amazing singer. So, we were camping, in the forest, and every evening we used to, sit around the fire, and, he used to sing, like he sings from his heart. It's beautiful to listen to him. And second thing I must share about him is that he's got the most wacko sense of humor you can imagine. He's mad, you know. He will be in splits, like he's really crazy when it comes to, his sense of humor. So yeah, I'll start, the question answer session with him. And so Ajay, my first question is, what prompted you towards racing? Because that's the direction you took. I personally, I did like maybe 3-4 competitions, and I was more involved. Like I couldn't give it time that competition flying needs, because for competitions, to get better in competitions, you have to fly competitions. It's a full-on thing. So everyone here would be interested. There are some pilots who would be maybe interested to go into competitions. I believe that you can learn a lot, as a pilot through competitions. Maybe even if you don't want to be a racer, but we want to know from you what prompted you, like what attracted you towards racing. So
Okay.
that would be, my first question
Yeah.
to you.
Okay. So, it depends upon your chemistry, like how God has made you, what is in your side, inside you, the chemical reactions. So this is what happened to me because I was born, it's a lot of things. So I will explain you, and if you want to write down these factors, you can write it down also. The most important part is your health. You should be very healthy. Not like you should be muscly or anything. You need to be proportionate. You don't need to be sick or anything.
Fit.
If you're sick, you cannot focus. So that's very important. So first of all, you need to be very fresh. And secondly, you need to be very, very clever. And third thing, you need to have multiple techniques, experience. So because when you're in the competitions, you have to do everything so quickly. So if your brain is not sharp enough, if you're not clever enough, you can't change your technique. So you need to be very variable all the time, because nothing is fixed. You're moving forward, you have different landscape, you're in different area, different height, different width gradient, everything is different. Sun is in a different angle, so everything is like completely different. It's constantly changing. In geography, nothing is dead, everything is alive, right? Everything has a life. Even the stone has a life, the soil has a life, it's burning off, it's constantly changing. So you have to be very, very flexible all the time. Important. You need to be very honest also. If you're not honest, so you cannot perform. So, and being a cross-country pilot is different because you're learning, you are giving yourself a one task, like one easy line, and you perform that and you're happy, and next day you do another thing, and third day you do another thing and another thing. You practice, practice, practice. But once you're in the competition, it's everything is in one go. You have to do everything here. So first of all, you need to be very, very healthy, because after 3 hours, anybody can get tired if you're racing, you know. So you have to keep up that energy. You have to see the task. So what is that? Your brain thinks like, okay, how do I save my energy for 5 hours? Because even in first 3 hours, I'm using my 100%, and then after I have 2 more hours to fly, and that's very important time when the condition is getting weaker. So you get mentally tired. Physically and mentally you get tired and you perform weaker in the end, which is very important part. The end part is very important because when everything is weak, you need to perform better. So if you think how can we get better, so it's the best thing is you have to fly in the weaker conditions, because weaker the condition is, it's safer, because that can not collapse your glider huge, but that will improve your energy level. So your techniques, if you're good at weak conditions, means you can be good at any conditions, right? So like normally we say like, okay, this is thermal, this is that, and normally, okay, you do brake and you lean, but you don't know in weak condition, if you are clever, if you are a smart guy, if you have multiple techniques in reserve, so you multiply that glide ratio. My standard glide ratio, I am full brakes off and boom, boom, and I my best glide. But the climb, as soon as I find the climb, a weak climb, like say point 0.2, point 0.3, and if you are clever, I can convert that climb into double. If it is like point 0.2 climb, I can make it point 0.4, because of you keep little speed and then you pumping. So you have to know that you never go under that standard speed. If your ground speed is standard speed, you are fine. You can increase, it's perfect, because the speed will convert into the lift, right? So you don't go below that standard speed. If you're below the standard speed, means you are dead. And you must keep your glider flying more. The more area is open, you will climb better, right? And people don't understand this concept much, right? People think like, "Ah, I was doing everything correct, I was doing." So aggression is when the wind conditions is good. It's working full on. So, you can even go thermaling like your glider is like 60 degrees and you can still thermal, because you're entering the core, the thermal is like 10 meters per second bullet, boom, you're no problem. But when it's weak, that's where the technique works. When it's weak, you need to keep it flat and maximum area should be open. So your brakes must be little use of the brake. You can lean a lot and then crank in. This is how you climb. So you have to be extremely good at strong conditions. You have to be very good at weak conditions. So, because if you have to perform, if you have to create the distance or difference from the others, these are the factors, where you have to be special. So in general conditions, you can't really prove. In standard conditions, you can't really prove who's good and who's bad. You have the time, because when condition is strong, you need to be sharp. Okay, you need to go your level above the standard line. You're thinking, you go above the standard, think that way. And when conditions are middle, okay, you think middle. When conditions weaker, you come weaker. Okay, so you have these three things to decide according to the conditions, because that's what is not in your control. Okay, yourself, you are in your control. You can change yourself, but you can't change the weather. You can't change the sun direction or cloud formation or everything, right? So that's why you need to be very honest, clever, and have multiple techniques. And then fine, you just perform.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
good one. Good one. Ajay,
Yes.
just come a little closer to the mic, little closer,
Okay.
yeah, so we can hear you clearly. And Vanik, please go ahead with your questions. Vanik.
Hi Ajay, I've heard a lot about you. You and Devu are very popular in the competition scene and the XC flying scene. And I've never met you in person, but I've definitely heard a lot about you. So, the moment I saw that Temple Pilots is having a meeting with you, I jumped onto the call no matter what. I canceled everything else. Thank you for sharing your time, and thank you to Avi for, bringing minds like, two different mindsets together onto one single call, so that people like us also can understand a few things.
Thank you.
Ajay, I have two questions for you.
Right.
One is, how much do you believe being good in cross-country flying is important for competition flying? And the second thing is, personally, how much do you care about the weather before the task of the day, or do you even look at the weather at all, or do you just go to the start gate and start flying? What's your mental approach on all these? I know I want to ask you a lot of questions. I've just limited it to two, so I'm sorry if you can address these two.
So, what was your first question?
How much do you believe cross-country flying or XC flying is important for competition flying?
Okay, so I will give the first answer. Cross-country flying is like you're making yourself ready for the competition flying, right? So if you are a good cross-country pilot, only then you can be a good competition pilot. If
Okay.
you are not, if you're lacking the good cross countries, that doesn't mean that you're racing. You are becoming a very good pilot. Very good cross-country pilot is a different thing. And because you will not do stupid mistakes, you will not put yourself in a danger. That's like good cross-country pilots' habits, right? This is not like you're going to the dead end and you don't know where to land now. So you always see one option, second option, third option, safety-wise. Because every time when you're moving forward, you're in a different area. You're in a different current. Some mountains, faces, or flatlands are green or brown, or there must be some water. So the effect is changing all the time. So you must see, you can't plan your glide ratio. I'm here now, my glide ratio is like 7 to 7, and I will reach here. But you see, the landscape is changing, and you are in a different vegetations. So everything can change. So cross-country pilot means you are learning, you're gaining, and you are a very safe pilot, and you're performing with you're a mature pilot if you're a good cross-country pilot. Competition pilot is, there is also a risk involved because you're taking
Right.
some, you're touching that limit, but you don't stay in that limit all the time because that can break you. So you touch your limit and come back again. Touch your limit and you say, okay, you get one little slap and you come back again. So it will be a problem if you get one slap and you still carry on, and second slap, and then it's a dangerous thing. So you see this warning. In competition, you just go to the max, and then it's like, okay, give me a slap, boom. The difference between you're doing the same. Let's say you're flying from anywhere generally in cross country. Your flying energy is different. Okay, you are flying with safety, your calculations, with everything. But when you're in competition, you're getting a little bit naughty. So you want to, you're just, let's do it. Let's take a chance. Let's put another car. Let's see what happens. Because nothing is sure. When you're looking forward, you don't know whether it's 100% sure. No one can give 100% guarantee unless there is a symbol, like some flying object is there, showing you like. Um, but normally we only plan A, plan B, plan C, plan A, plan B, plan C all the time. So you have to see that. So you see, in competition, you maximum you are planning for plan A. Very good, very good. And then you see plan two. Okay, well plan two, but where I'm gonna end up? So where is my next turn point? Because when cross country flying, you don't really have turn points. You don't really plan like your task. So like, okay, you have to do this way. If you're going unsafe, you say, no, I go in a better line. But in competition, sometimes you have to go in a limit, like, oh, come on, take it. But this can see how intelligent you, where you're gonna go. It's my race is only 30%, and I'm taking some stupid move and put myself in a danger. And I spend what's the point of leading if I'm putting myself like 300 meters below everybody? So it will take me how long time to climb because if the condition is weak. So you have to be smart in the competitions, variable, very, very variable, like, okay, what I do, want to do, how to do it. Flexibility is very important when you're competition flying. But when you're just cross-country flying, it's nice. You plan your flight. If nothing works with your flight, you change your line because you're not missing out your task. You're not missing out your points, right? So these are the, and is it clear like that way?
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I got that. The reason why I asked is I think on a podcast once, Aaron Doragati, he mentioned that when he became world champion, the longest flight he had flown was 125 kilometers. He had not flown for more than 4 hours in an XC. So that's why I was like seeing how much was your, what's your opinion about the same subject? The second question I had asked for you was how much do you look at weather before? So you don't know the task of the day till the briefing happens. So does weather matter to you at all, or do you just look at the task and just execute the task? What's your approach?
I see where I am, which country I am. Globally, I have to see the global effect. So see, if I am flying in Maharashtra and I know the cumulus is here, okay. So my planning is different because cumulus is forming like 2,000 meters or 3,000 meters max, right? If I am flying in Ladakh, the cumulus is forming 7,000 meters.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the difference. So you can't really plan, okay, this is fine. No. You have to see globally, where are you? Sometimes you are below the equator. Understand? So globally, so if you're under the equator, everything changes, So you have to plan first of all that. My planning is when I do competitions, wherever I go, I see weather in advance. I don't know what's coming tomorrow, what will be the task tomorrow, but I already checked the weather. And some places we have like registered sites, you can check accurate weather, but in India or some other countries, some countries, they don't have that. So what we see, I check weather in 2-3 different sites.
Okay.
Okay. And then next day when I'm on the ground and I see it visually, what is happening here. See? Because everything depends upon the pressure. Every day the pressure is changing up and down, high pressure, low pressure, all these weights getting the equilibrium point. That is constantly changing. And you see like, okay, is the air dense today or drier air, or what is the effect? It is fizzy day or hazy day. So you have to see all this, because if the day is fizzy, the thermals are punchy and finishing, and again punchy. The duration is very short and punchy. Okay. When it's stable air, the thermal is settled, more settled. It's longer, it's easier, and there's less ups and downs. And so surely, when we are going to any competitions, I will check the weather first. When the briefing is done, when the task is set up, I need 5 minutes for myself.
Okay, so you're not a person who does QT diagrams and all that stuff. You just look and you kind of understand how the day is progressing by just visually you.
Because if you like to make notes and do like mathematics, it's very puzzling. It's very puzzling because everything is very precise, boom, boom, and it's very difficult to plan yourself when you're racing because you are a higher energy. You can't waste your time in calculating this and that. And oh my God, it's impossible for anybody, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Method. So what you do, you create a wave. You create a wave in your brain. I create my soft wave. Instead of thinking sharp, 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 I create softness. So I see my target. As soon as I go below that, I change my decision. Okay? So this is called creating a bridge. So I create one imaginary stranded bridge in my eyes. So when I look straight, I see sky, I see my path, and I also see a ground. So if I'm looking at one point, I have no idea where I'm going and what is happening. So you have to think sometimes it's coming from your, it's like that's where I see it's meditation for me, because you are looking yourself, your light and yourself, you're dropping sometimes. When you do big work and then you're in a big transition, you drop, you rest that time. You're full bar, boom, you're in good space, you're less turbulence, you're nice.
Ajay, can I interrupt? Sorry. So for you, the way you sound more like an instinctive pilot. So do you look at the instruments much at all? You said when you're going on a long glide, do you even?
Yeah, I do all the time. Just my line.
Just your line. Okay.
Line and glide ratio. I don't look like what is my glide ratio and what I need next and this because I don't need to waste that. So I see already in my instrument I have fixed or I like what is my next point and how far is my goal line and how high I'm gonna get. But that will change all the time. So if I waste that thinking, looking at my instrument all the time and thinking how I am, it's completely pointless. It's burning my energy. So I will only see when I have 3 moves in the last.
Okay.
Just before the goal line, I will calculate my 3 moves already.
Okay. Okay.
That's where even sometimes I let people pass. I say, okay, go, no problem. Because I know you will have to work every single point and the mountain range is going lower and lower or flatter or whatever. So people don't calculate this. They go with because energy level is so high, everyone is racing, everyone is so hyper. Like, ooh. So it's very hard to drop that energy if you are leading the gaggle. So in the second gaggle is easy because there are a lot of people working in the front. It's easier for them. But the people who are in the front and most of the time I find it's like my own decision because I am flying extra small glider. So I get a problem in the last. So I have to change my decisions. I have to be very, So it's easy for me. It's not easy, but it's capable. I am capable of keeping myself in the first gaggle until the 70% of the race. After 70%, because everybody in the World Cup, in any competition now, everyone knows they are full bar, So I am lacking my speed. Top speed is less than the other. I'm like 3-4 kilometers slower than the other. So how do I win the race? So what I do, I will take all lead points from the beginning. From the beginning, I'm taking lead point. People are going half bar, I'm going full bar because I know the day is working. It's working. Even I'm low, I know I'm going to kick off. I'm going to boom, 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 no problem. But after, when the sun goes like 60% degree down, I know then problem coming. After 60%, when the sun is in the middle, is fine. It's going after 60%, 70%, okay. You need to decide, okay, Baba, you need to be very, very smart. How, where? So you calculate your, so you start to play a little mental game, in the first gag. You start to play a little bit, I need to sneak off, So I need to take my completely different route. If I'm following them, fine, maybe I will reach 5th position, but because of my lead point, I am still safe because my lead point will match me again. It will put me in top positions. It's fine. But sometimes I see, wow, I'm in a very good place, and these guys are 300 meters below them because I'm good. I believe that I can climb very good. My climbing is very classic, and I'm sorry to say, but this is how I plan myself.
But you have a smaller glider. That's why it's like you have to be good at climbing compared to, because they're faster than you in gliding because they're bigger gliders.
And also there is some fine techniques that I use. I don't see anybody else is using that.
Okay,
technique, you know?
okay. Can we know what are those?
Okay.
Yeah, I will show anything. I don't hide. Yeah. So,
Sure.
but it's difficult to explain here. When you are in the
Explain
course,
in.
I will
Okay.
teach you. I'll tell you how it works, right? Only one person in the entire life has seen me doing this and actually said, like, bloody hell, you're like this. And that was Jan Martel, the world champion of 2011. And he was every race, he's just behind me and watching what I'm doing, you know. So he judged me like, what the hell are you doing, you know? So he said, okay, you do this, and I see this, yes. I say, okay. This was the only guy who caught me uh, seeing, you know, he saw me actually like, this is what I do, my technique. So that's why I say how to multiply things, you know.
Okay. Okay.
The glider is given to you, it will fly the way it's flying, you know. But you can multiply if you're clever, you can multiply. It's nice. You know, you
Okay.
can. I spin my glider quite a lot,
Interesting.
so
Okay.
you
Okay,
how to spin.
we'll stop Vainik for a moment. I think the other people wanted to ask questions.
Oh, sorry.
And I see Alok is here today. Alok, go ahead.
Thank you, Avi. Ajay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Alok.
Okay, Ajay, nice hairstyle or unhairstyle. Yeah, nice one. I was a bit scared of asking you these questions, but okay.
You're talking to
But
Shakal.
Akal, yeah, I said the same thing a while ago on the chat. Okay. Ajay, so my question to you is, I've seen you lead in the competitions for a really long time, but in our last competition, I saw you that you were not able to lead the way you are used to. And in such scenarios, when things are not going your way, how do you deal with those emotions, or how do you deal with when you see the failure coming towards you?
Yeah. See, it's a task committee who decided task, you know. So I was in the task committee, and then these guys like they want to keep everything super simple, right? So it was really boring to do this kind of task because you're doing nothing, just one climb, and you see each turn point, you're doing 14 kilometers, just one glide, full bar, you're going to one turn point and turning back again, full bar, not doing anything. Oh, and after another climb and then another, I did like 22 kilometers one glide, and I was leading, and then I was asked by the guys who were following me. They said, "Why did you slow down?" I said, "Baba, I didn't slow down. I'm full bar. It's just I can't perform. My glider, you know, the smaller aircraft cannot fly faster like you guys, you know." So I was full. It's more difficult to fly. The smaller the glider is, more twitchier and lesser performance and lesser everything. So you know. So that was the case. I knew, look, it's a very frustrating, even when the task is decided. I knew already, like, it's not the task, you know. But I'm not in the committee. I cannot make 100% decision. But the last day, the top pilots, they were all like unhappy, like, what is this? What is happening? What kind of task is this? And someday the task, when it doesn't need to be stopped, so the task was stopped, you know. It was a little bit very frustrating because you know when you have mismanagement, you know, you don't know what is happening. It's difficult. And the last task I had to say, like, listen, you know, keep it safe and nice, but keep it a nice playable task. Yeah, you know, people should, it should be mix of everything, you know, not just one climb, boom boom. And this is what happened: the top pilots, they all failed, and the guys who were flying bigger glider and faster glider, they won, boom. This is what happened. And the second day when I bombed out, it was I wanted to, because first day I was I don't know, fifth or sixth number, and I wanted to lead the second day so I could cover the first day because I knew there is no other day. So in 3 days nothing is working, you know. And unluckily I bombed out on the way back, and I was smarter that way. I could follow the, there was two guys in front of me. I could follow them again to the dead end, you know, it was very lowest and there's no save. And I was thinking like, okay, you know, there is only possibility is the thermal, and that's not working. And I will sneak to the other side. There is a ridge lift, and I can get that lift, and then I say goodbye to these guys. That was my plan. I thought I'm gonna say them bye bye now, and they cannot catch me anymore. But it went other way. I bombed out, and they slowly climbed, and boom, that, you know. But yeah, look, you know, it was a very different. You know, if you are the best pilot and you are given a slower glider, you can't do anything. You know. So it should be playable for every people. Smart game. You should give options, multiple options. That's where task committee is it's intelligence. How you set up the task. There should not be one line. What will happen with the one line? Everybody will go full power, full bar, because they know they have to get that turn point easy, and they can come back easy with the full bar without doing anything. There's nothing. So what will happen to you if you are the best pilot and you are given a slow glider? That was happening to me.
Yeah, the question was more in the direction of we do not have control over these things, right, Ajay? I mean, what task committee chooses to do on that day, we do not have control over these things. How do we still keep our emotions in check and still be able to perform at the highest level?
Do minimum mistakes, calm down, and because you know that you cannot perform your max anyway, and you can't perform better than that. And best thing is relax and let others do mistakes, because there are people who are fighting for the podium. They are in front of you. They can fly faster because their gliders are bigger. And if they do something wrong, then it's your chance, because you're in the next year, you are behind them, kind of, and you're not doing mistake because you're also giving 100%. If the first girl in front of you is in a wrong line, you see like they're sinking down, so you have the advantage to take a safer line and perform better. That's the only possibility. But in a big competitions, people cannot do. This does not work even in the big competitions, because people are not stupid. They are doing it. The chances are only maybe 5% chances that people can really do some silly mistakes in the front, and then you have the chance to save yourself. But it's sometimes it's very obvious when after the task setting. That's why I did 5 minutes after the task setting. After task setting, I make my plan A, plan B, plan C, and I know, okay, which section I have to go faster, which section I have to slow down. I make my plannings, and if my original planning doesn't work, if everything I see, like in the beginning, I will not go full power. I will go maybe 80% and see what happens with the day, and then I can accelerate max. So, and suddenly when I take off, as soon as the start happens, and I see, oh shit, it's already booming. So I will change my plan B. So plan B will be like something else. So, and it's always nothing is fixed. As the day goes, everything is changing, but still you have 2 or 3 plans in your head. That's what I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajay.
Alok, I hope you got something there. Stay calm, stay super calm. It's a dynamic situation, and you may get a chance to bounce back.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you cannot give what you're giving. You're on your max, and if you have something in reserve, I could say like, okay, do that. But you are not. You are using everything. Your intelligence, your maximum full bar, you have nothing to use. So better calm down, you're in your max, and let others do some mistakes. If they are doing some mistakes, you have just little chance. That's only 5%.
You can smile at
Thank
your
you, Ajay.
situation.
Yeah.
or eat a lot, and fly at least a medium glider. They are the best.
Cool. Do we have another question, or can we move on to the second part of our meeting today? Nina?
Okay.
Any question, guys? You can ask directly.
Okay, so I think we are 45 minutes into the session. We can move on to the second part of the session. But guys, we are organizing this competition training session as well in Beer this time. So I'd like to invite Alok as well, join us for those days. We'll be setting up tasks and discussing strategies and tactics and playing them out, and it'll be good to have experienced pilots flying with us in these tasks, so that the group that we are training has a little advantage of markers and stuff. So yeah, we'll discuss that with experienced pilots who've done competitions like Alok, and it'll be interesting to develop that story there. Okay, so guys, as you may have seen my post about the plans that we made, I'll just quickly go over it again. The courses that we planned for Beer and Bilaspur. So first and foremost, from 28th September to 2nd October, we have 5 days given for basic or advanced SIV course, and you're welcome to join. Please let us know in time. It'll be a good idea to come, a couple of days in advance, so that you can do your equipment check. You can, do some flights, get really comfortable, and with your glider, being comfortable in the air to do your course. In this course, if you want to practice some particular maneuver, like you want to focus only on wing overs, or you want to learn how to sat, or any acro maneuvers, you can talk to me and we can plan that out for you. So just mark these dates. Everyone has had a long gap, and that is why we have planned from 1st to 4th October, basically refresher training, so that if you want to practice your launches, you want to practice different approaches, you want to practice basic maneuvers, just to get your confidence back, to fly more comfortably, more confidently. This is the course for you. It's a refresher training course from 1st to 4th. You can choose 2 days, you can choose 4 days or 3 days, what suits you. And it'll be a good idea again to come a day or two in advance, do some top downs, do some ground handling, get your equipment checked, make sure you get your reserves repacked, and you're ready to make the most of that. Also, I would recommend, if you're doing your first thermaling course, to do this refresher, because we like to do the pre-thermaling requirements, like basic asymmetric collapses, your 16-second optimal turns, how to open and close the turns, active piloting, and work on these basics, so that you get more value out of your thermaling course. So that is the refresher training. And if you're a low airtime pilot, you had a long gap, you want to get back and want to work on something specific, So I'm going to be putting, details of all the courses very soon in the coming week on the FB page. And you can see, what each course is designed for. From 5th to 9th, we're having the thermaling course. If you are, a pilot of any level and you want to master your, thermaling technique, because it's the key. So we'll be just sharply observing you. Ajay will be there, I'll be there. We'll be personally looking at each pilot and working on, sharpening your technique of mapping and coding the thermals and getting really good at them. We'll also be, putting you into super weak thermals in the evenings, or throw you in the sky early mornings to, master those, thermaling skills, like Ajay was talking about, when it matters, when they are weak, and your skills will be tested. And if you can really perform good thermaling in super weak thermals, you can get out of tricky, shitty situations while you're doing cross-country flying. So you may be doing a first thermaling course, or you may have done 2 or 3 earlier, and you want to sharpen, you want us to sharply look at you and improve your technique. So thermaling course is for you. We are only having one, so make sure you put your name in time for the thermaling course. So that's from 5th to 9th October. Also, guys, like for APPI certification, if you want your FAI, IPPI 4, then thermaling certification is one of the requirements for APPI 4. Make sure then, a thermaling course like this gives you that certification as well, just to add to it. From 10th to 14th is the pure XC course. This particular course is for pilots who are already good at thermaling. We shouldn't be teaching you thermaling. Okay, we know that if we are marking thermals for you, we are flying with you, and that you will catch the thermal and you will gain altitude to cover distances. Aim would be to reach your best XC distance in this particular course. So we are assuming you know thermaling really well, weak, medium, strong. You can manage the thermals, you can manage the turbulence, you know the rules, you're pretty good with thermaling to be signing up for a pure XC course, basically cross-country flying. That's what we'll be aiming for, to help you achieve your maximum, and we'll be flying with you, both Ajay, me, and Jets. Okay, so that's the pure XC course. And last one, 15th to 19th, is the comp training, which is an advanced XC training, in which will be like a setting up proper tasks, understanding the, how the day is going to evolve and maximizing and planning the tasks. And then we go, full competition style and assist you in, achieving these tasks that we set for this competition training. And of course, detailed debriefing with using, diorama to see, where you were at what time and what you could have done differently to, increase your speed or take better lines. So this will be aimed at, like if you want to, prepare yourself, let's say, for your first competition, or you want to improve your, your flying speeds and techniques for competition flying. So this particular course is aimed for that. And of course, again, I'll be putting up, details about each of the courses very, very soon on the FB page. So yeah. So any questions, anybody has regarding, what they want to choose? And my recommendation would be, just talk to your mentors, your instructor you're comfortable with, and see, what kind of course suits you best. It's not like other times we used to generally do 2 thermaling courses and 2 XC courses, etc. We're just doing one each this time. Same for SIV. We're just doing one course and not like, 2. So make sure that you tell us in time to get your place. It'll be like first come, first serve basis. So guys, like I open the, house now for questions regarding, the plan. The season is going to be opening in Kamshet on 15th of October. Like I mentioned, we are partially opening the season. We'll be probably taking just beginner courses. We'll be flying tandems. And then 21st of October, it is full operations on at Kamshet at our base. Assuming everything is, going fine with the COVID aspect as well. We'll keep that in mind as we move into the near future. So yeah, so guys, that's the plan. Any questions, guys? If you want any help with your personal plan or anything,
So just to repeat, the competition training is from 15th to 19th, and there'll be 4 tasks given each day. Or is it a full day of training, or is it just 1 task a day?
No, it's full day of training. We'll have proper briefing, like then we explain the task, you feed in your task, etc. Then we fly the task, we meet in the evening and we do a full debrief as to, what could have been done better, where did you make a mistake, did you maximize the day, and, like that. So that's we're keeping like an extra day, for every course is a spare day. In case, like the weather goes bad one day, we have a spare day.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be like, full competition training. 15 to 19.
15 to 19. Okay.
Yeah.
So is Alok joining that? Alok, can you hear me?
I'll try, Ajay. I have work schedule packed at that time.
Okay.
My colleagues are on vacation. 2 colleagues are on paternity leave at that time.
Okay.
So I do not know how much time I can manage, but some of the time in between, because I see 15 to 19 days Saturday, Sunday, immediately I check the calendar, kitna time mil raha hai beech mein. So I will join in between, of course. Yeah.
What's your questions? What I told you to calm down and relax, and you can't because you have nothing to use. You're giving your attitude. Are you satisfied with that?
Come again, I did not get you, Ajay.
I said that your answer of your question was like to relax and calm down because you have nothing to use. You're giving your 100%. So that was my answer to you.
Yeah. I'm satisfied. Yeah.
क्योंकि उससे ज़्यादा कुछ करेगा है ही नहीं आपके पास है कुछ नहीं है because आपने सब किया कभी-कभी क्या होता है कि आपके पास glider होता है कि you can still push it more but if you are already 100% because of your glider size or whatever and you have nothing left so you better you calm down relax let others do some mistakes then you only have a chance that's all otherwise bye
carry a bow and arrow or a air gun.
Air gun, yeah.
Okay, guys, a few
invisible paramotor. You can just go completely offline, and no one follows you.
Yeah, these guys, in teams, they used to like, start circling, two guys, and others will feel, there's a thermal there. It's just decoys, like they used to use these techniques. So maybe, you could try that as well. Okay, a few notes I'd like to share. Okay, Ashish, your question, please.
Yeah, hi. So basically, I've been told to do like a refresher, basic SIV, and thermaling course to start off with from this big gap. And from your dates that you mentioned in the this thing, you guys are going from 25th September to Bilaspur, I guess.
Yeah.
So is that when we join? And
yeah. So plan for you now would be that you come 2 days early to Bilaspur. Okay. You do top downs and just warm up flights. Do your basic SIV. Okay, which is a refresher only for you. Okay, you don't have to do a refresher separately. So the basic SIV is kind of a stronger refresher, and you're ready for your thermaling course.
So that's 23rd of.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So you don't have to do refresher and basic SIV both. You just do one, which is good. Okay.
Understood.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool. So I'll just share a few notes with everyone that I had put down, for reminding everyone things that are important. One is that, you need to register when you go flying in Bir. So you will need your license. And, oh shit. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, because the electricity went away here. Okay. So license and insurance. Okay. I don't know if Pratik is here. Pratik, are you there?
Hey, I'm there.
Okay. So Pratik is here. You can ask him, questions also directly about insurance. But your license and your insurance are mandatory, and you will need these two to register yourself in Bir to be able to fly there or take any training course or fly yourself. Okay. So that is number one. Make sure you have them. I hope you know now that you can actually print your own license. Okay. And you will have your FAI, IPPI, International Identification Card as well, along with the APPI license. Okay. All in one. Number two, any of the courses you're coming for, please come a day or 2 days earlier at least. Just do some warm-up flights. Don't directly jump into a course because you're not at your best. So do some warm-up flights, get your comfort level, your confidence back before we start. And you have to coordinate with your instructors, with our team, for your equipment check. Before you reach there, you already planned your equipment check, your glider, your harness, your connections, your reserve. Make sure you book, if you want to repack, you have to repack. It's 6-month duration. So make sure you repack your reserve, and we'll be having a simulator there, practice a few deployments. So you're, on the top of your game. Okay. So equipment check, reserve repack, very, very essential before, you start flying there. And at least a day or two of warm-up flights before you start any course. Okay. Then accommodation. We are generally at Skydiver. It's a pretty decent hotel. I think most of you know about it, but you can check. We are based there. It is very, right next to the landing area. We land and you can walk to your hotel, which is very convenient. And, then it's easy to get together and, get a car and, go in the morning as well. There'll also be our briefing and debriefing, area. That's where we land a simulator as well. So that's that. Traveling, manage and book your traveling in advance once your booking is confirmed with us. And especially manage your weight. You're carrying your glider. You have a limited weight, you can carry. If there are Air India flights, it's an advantage. They give more, allowance for weight. Otherwise, you can buy extra weight and, make sure that you don't get hassled and, regarding that aspect. Okay. And if you, coordinate, we can all, talk when somebody's leaving, you can coordinate, sharing a cab, from the airport, etc., which can be done, on the FB page. Okay. That's that. So yeah. And if you have any doubts about, you're not feeling sure, you don't know which course you should go for, please talk to your mentors. You can talk to me. And if you want to book, just email us so that, we can book a place for you. And yeah, about time we start flying. Okay. Yes, Rohan, you can ask a question directly. Yeah, Rohan.
Sir, actually, I was asking, can we have a separate WhatsApp group as we have for Bali for the participants who are coming for the courses?
Yes. I mentioned that we will, soon, form these WhatsApp groups. As soon as I put up the details for each course, we'll form the groups, and then, we'll share all the information, and the study material, etc., on those groups after you book with us. Okay. So we'll put you in the group, and then, all the information, videos we want you to watch before you come, the study material that we want to share with you before you come. So we'll share all that. Okay. Cool. What is Alok saying? Alok, you want to say what you want to say? I just saw some message.
Yeah, I just mentioned that people can courier speed post their stuff to Beer as well. It saves a lot of money. We had been doing this for some time now.
You mean courier the gliders?
Gliders, yeah. Glider is also okay. And if you are not comfortable, because I know people could be sentimental about their gliders, so they can courier rest of the stuff, clothes and everything. Yeah, so it automatically half of the weight goes away.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because we had been doing this to and fro from Beer, it works out.
So what courier do you use?
DTDC is there. There is one more professional couriers is also there. So there are 2-3 courier services. Yeah,
oh, that's
that will work
excellent
out.
Piece of information. Thank you, Alok. That's really can be helpful to all the pilots. Okay.
Even speed post works out. Normal post works out. It's quite cheap. For 400, 500 rupees, you can send 15, 20 kgs easily.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's really good. That's really good piece of information. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, Pratik, do you want to talk a little bit about, paragliding insurance? And if people have any questions, Pratik, are you there?
Hi, Avi. Can you see me?
Yes. Guys, please welcome Pratik. He's the only one in India who's, providing this special insurance for paragliding particularly. And you don't have to lie to your insurance that, you were, actually, walking up a hill. So yeah, Pratik, go ahead, please. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Avi. Thank you for inviting me. I mean, and it's great listening, Ajay, to Ajay. I think I met Ajay last year and he had hair, I think at that time, possibly.
We were constantly talking to you when we were doing this SIV, operation, where guys were coming without insurance and, you were handling it on the phone and all that. Yeah.
Right. So it was very
quite a nightmare.
quite a good way to do the insurance, because it was something I think I was, but it was welcoming thing, because a lot of people are right now avoiding insurance per se. So I think I'll quickly talk about what we do very quickly, 1 minute, saying that our focus is adventure, sports, insurance, search and rescue. So we are dealing with adventure, safety, and we are an adventure safety company. So that's what we are doing, be it paragliding or be it any adventure sport. And that's our focus. We don't do motor insurance. We don't do, life insurances. We just do adventure specific insurances, be it for competitions or be it for, let's say, tandem paragliding or your regular travel as well. Right. So you can actually secure, and that's what we are trying to do and develop new things in the market, because there is nothing there in India. Since last 4-5 years, we are working very focusedly on this subject and trying to do something in India. Right. Of course, there are a lot of gaps right now, and we are working in that fashion. So I think any insurance, there are two kinds of it. So one is, let's say, if Temple Pilots is organizing a course, so it will be course specific. One could be for a month and you are going for a solo, flying anywhere in India or world, in fact, or one will be your annual insurances. So where you can just buy one, let's say a medical rescue card, and you can fly wherever you want. You can do whatever activity you want. And that's the ultimate vision of ours, where you just call us and we'll be able to help you out with your hospitalizations or evacuations or claims. So that is what we are working on. So there are two kinds, short term and long term. So these are the very basic structure. And then, of course, insurance involves the comprehensive 360, coverage, because when you are flying, a lot of things can happen, and you must have gone through quite a bit. So one is, of course, we start with accidental death and disability insurances. Of course, there are permanent disabilities and temporary disabilities. Then there are hospitalization because of accidents, of course. And there are sicknesses as well. So people do get hypothermias. People do get high altitude sickness if you're flying at those sort of areas. And then there is one thing which all the pilots have requested me over the years is public liability, or their own third-party liability when they are flying. Then there is, of course, we added a reconstructive surgery benefit. So if someone wants to actually, unfortunately, met with a huge accident and they want to, there's a fracture in their hip bone or one of their elbows or something. So there is something called reconstructive surgery. And then, of course, OPD benefits. And then there is medical evacs. So medical evacuation means any mode of evacuation, which is through air, via air, heli evacuations or fixed wings, anything, road ambulances, and of course, search parties as porter, guides, instructors and or medical experts. They are trying to retrieve you from somewhere. So those all evacuations are included in this. And then, of course, we are trying to include now something called, there is one for trip cancellation as well. And then we are also trying to include event cancellation. So tomorrow, if there's a course and there is corona, someone actually met with, unfortunately diagnosed with corona, so they can actually claim that course fee probably in future as well. And that is what we are working on. And we are also working on something, though I'm not very sure and confident at the moment, is something called sports equipment cover. So in case your precious equipment stolen, gets, someone actually steals it, or so there's a proper FIR, we can actually reimburse you some part of that money as well. So we are working on that holistic approach where your medical, your evacuation, your death and disability, and your travel with equipments can be covered in a holistic sense. Of course, as Avi knows, we are always very a little on the higher side for the courses or probably anything, because the sample size is very small, and the kind of claims we get from one accident is huge. So we have paid 2.25 lakhs also, we have paid 3 lakhs also, we regularly pay 75,000 to 1.25 lakhs with every accident. And the kind of clientele right now, the kind of pool which we have for, let's say, paragliding particularly, is very small in India at the moment also, because people always choose, I think, United and Oriental, 140 rupees, 600 rupees, 1,000 rupees insurances. Then, so that is where we are. I think if you have any questions regarding your plans right now, because I know there are a couple of plans which are working right now. And one thing I really want to mention is professional and non-professional. I think that's a very small demarcation between professional and non-professional pilots. Professional pilots are the ones who are earning from the sport, right? Your tandem paragliding pilots or pilots who are fighting in the competitions. Non-professional pilots are the pilots who have learned all the courses probably, but they are flying solo for their own passion. So that is the basic difference, that if you are earning from the sport, then you are a professional pilot in insurance terminology, right? Of course, you might have done all the courses, you are flying everything, but in our sense, you are not a professional because you're not earning from the sport. That's the basic thing which we are working on. So if you have any questions, I can.
Okay, Pratik, I'll also request you to put your details on the chat, and if you have the website or where they can gather information about the insurances and packages that you offer, or your contact details, if you can just share it in the chat, because there was a question pertaining to that. Yeah. Thank you, Pratik. Nina, any questions for Pratik?
Not on the chat. If anybody wants to ask directly.
Yeah, if somebody has any question, please ask Pratik. He's just a phone call away as well. And we're going to share, on our website as well soon, Pratik. We'll have your stuff there as well. So just share in the chat. Somebody's coming on.
I remember me. I've been missing.
Hey, KK.
Hey. Okay, I have a question for Pratik. Pratik, you mentioned search and rescue. So when we say search and rescue, what is it that we are looking at? And are there any particular areas, or is it just like anywhere?
So search and rescue basically means in case someone met with an accident somewhere, and that site is not accessible. Even it's accessible, right? Even it's a normal accessible site, person need to get transported from that crash site to, let's say, the nearest medical center, right? So that small portion, maybe in an ambulance, maybe in a helicopter, is also part of the evacuation or a rescue process. But even if it's a more elaborate version, where that there is an accident which has happened and a long and you need an evacuation by helicopter, then that is also included. But there's one small difference. Medical evacuation means that there is a medical emergency, right? Search and evac means that the person is not
Traceable.
what happened, traceable, and you don't know really what has happened in that sense, which is not included in any of the packages in India or abroad as well. There are only a couple of them I know, and they are super expensive, wherein so give you an example. On Everest, let's say Mount Everest, I think in 2015 there was an earthquake, right? So there were a lot of people who were stuck above Camp 1 when the avalanche and the earthquake came. So they were stuck and there was no medical emergency. They just called the insurance providers across the world, and they all said no, because there was no medical emergency, right? So these are the small fine prints you always have to go through when you are buying a insurance cover or a cover for you. So medical evac means any sort of medical emergency. And of course, so even if someone is, there's a group of guys who are going probably by trekking or by jeeps or something, trying to retrieve the pilot. From there, they will bring him to the roadhead. From there, they will get him probably to the hospital nearby. So those are all covered under the medical evacuation.
Okay, so if I was flying in the high mountains, like behind B, which is not accessible, very honest, you know about the Bead Mountains, the back mountains?
Right.
Yeah, so if a person was to somehow land in those places, it's for a lot of pilots, it may not be possible to walk out of those pieces because of the ravines and the treacherous cliffs that we have over there. So it may not be a medical emergency, but it just may not be possible for the person to walk out of the place. So how do we define that?
So that is not a medical evac. That will be coming under the search and sort of retrieval portion of it, which is not included in any plans at the moment. But if it's a huge demand, if there's this thing, we could also work on it. But I think that will be super expensive as of now, because medical evac anyway is very expensive. And but yeah, we could, if that might be the way forward for us.
I think what is the huge demand that you are looking for in order to provide such a service?
So that will be, again, depends on what kind of, how many people wants that coverage and how much they can pay ultimately. Because if we are sharing, for example, 1,000 rupees within 100 people, and 1,000 rupees with 10 people, of course, we need to look into that and what kind of claims we can expect out of it, because then we want a search party, right? So do you want a helicopter evac from there, or do you want a group of guys guiding you back?
It would be ideally helicopter evac, because any one day extra would mean a person might end up dying.
Right. And anyway, the communication is anyway not possible, because most of us is not carrying satellite phones also, and there is no two-way communication apart from the IMASAT, or I think InReach, I think. And India doesn't allow two-way communication also in Garmin. I think people do get it from outside. Those are though illegal still in India, but there is no, first thing for me is how you will communicate, because there are a lot of moving parts. And with respect to heli also, there are few private helis, and then of course we pay directly to the Air Force as well for all the medical evacuation in case they evacuate one of our clients. So I don't think so this happening, and need to do more research. I think if you all have any suggestions, you can write on the email I've given to you, or you can call me anytime and I could start maybe researching on this.
Okay,
Pratik.
I think there's a serious need of this. Even if it's expensive, at least it's there on the offer. And as numbers go up, it starts to become cheaper. But yeah, I would recommend. In any case, people who are going behind will have a sat nav, so that's a given now. After what's happened, and number two, that we will need to have that. Even if it's expensive, it's okay. And as the number go up, the cost can come down. So guys, you can send him an email and talk to him about this. And yes, we will kind of need the SNR as well, Pratik.
No, we are very keen on doing that. That's what my mission is actually. It's my mission to give a proper rescue structure in India. It's not pertaining paragliding, because all the paragliders are probably fitness enthusiasts also. They might be doing a lot of trekking, and you anyway have to do trekking when you land up somewhere, and you are doing biking, and you probably want to do a lot of other stuff, right?
There are huge numbers in trekking as well. They are also the clients. So I think the numbers won't be a problem actually. And these guys,
so that is not right.
These guys in sitting in Kulu, they are providing kind of at least search, facility on the helicopters. So you could talk to them, coordinate with them. Other than the Air Force, they might offer something on compassionate grounds, something better.
So we are working with those Air Himalaya guys in all the
Himalayas, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we are working with them. In fact, we always tell all our clients that even if we will also try to arrange in India, Nepal, it's very easy. Other places, it's very easy for us. But in India, even if we are trying, you also try. Whoever gets the first heli, please take that. We will obviously financially back the whole thing. And we always do that. So on, let's say in Jammu Kashmir and in Ladakh, if Air Force, because Air Force is allowed in those areas because of the inner line permits, we always pay directly to them, even if local DC is organizing it.
Cool. So we'll look forward to good news in this direction from you. Please work on this, because this guy is pretty good, who owns Air Himalayas, and he was quite cooperative, when this situation happened in Bir, in sending the chopper. So fine. So yeah, please keep us informed, and hope you get this going for the entire adventure community, not just paragliding pilots, but all trekkers and whole. I think there are big numbers there for SNR as well.
If you don't mind, Avi, quickly, one thing I really want to mention is that sometimes when you are flying at a very high level and for longer days, the insurances might look might look a little expensive, but I'll tell you that our coverage starts from 1 day, and 1 day, as basic as very small cover is for 150 rupees for a solo pilot. Let's say if you're flying, if you're planning to just do 2-3 jumps in a day, and you just want to cover for 1 day, we can start from 150 rupees. but also for a 1 week, it starts from 500-600 rupees. So 400-500 rupees, 600 rupees. I think that'll be a couple of cans of beer in those areas. So I'm pretty okay. I think you're not that expensive. Of course, when you go up and take higher coverage, then things get little expensive then.
Fine, yeah, it is what it is. But this coverage, Medivac, you have it, and the search and rescue will be good. I think numbers are there, including the trekking guys as well. So please look at that, and cool. So thank you, Pratik, for joining us, and
Thank you.
good being associated with you. I'd like to thank Ajay this morning for joining us, and we'll see him in Beer now, and we fly together. The energies have gone down a little bit. We've been talking about insurances and accidents. So cheer up. It's just a talk. It's just in the mind, and nothing has happened. Nothing's going to happen. But it's best to be prepared and have a free mind that in case things go south, we are prepared, and and we can have our fun and the joy that paragliding gives. So thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend, and like I mentioned, you're special people. You enjoy the pilot's perspective, stay above the clouds, and don't get caught up, with the things of the world too much. Stay free, stay humble, stay empty, and keep the pilot's perspective. Stay above the clouds, and just visualize going there and not get caught with, anything really, because it keeps changing. And yeah, thank you very much. Good to see you, Malar. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And I will share with you, the details of each of the courses. Hope you join us. We are going to have an amazing time together. We'll be listening to Ajay singing as well and enjoy his wacko sense of humor and have a great time together. It's the time to come together and have fun together. This will give each of us, the energy that we all, need to keep afloat and, soar. And the pilots have to lead and bring the light to this world, I feel. Okay, so stay above the clouds, keep everyone around you happy and shining. And thank you, Ajay. Thank you, Pratik. And thanks everyone for joining us. It feels beautiful. And we'll see you when we'll see you in a week or two.